The bartender asked why I kept staring at the news. That's my old beat, I told him, watching footage of another robbery. Those thieves, I arrested most of their fathers. That's when the young officer next to me spoke up. You're Tank Morrison, aren't you? The cop who punched a senator's son. I took another sip of my beer and nodded. They say you knew every criminal in the city. I smiled and set down my glass. Kid, I didn't just know them. I made them who they are. Let me tell you about the day they fired the only detective who actually knew every thief in Boston, and why that was the biggest mistake the department ever made. Welcome to Human Stories. Before we begin this powerful tale, tell us in the comments, what city in the world are you watching from? And if you believe stories like this deserve to be told, hit that subscribe button and help us keep these voices alive. Murphy's Bar in Boston's South End was where old cops went to drink away their memories. Smoke curled under dim ceiling lights. Tables scarred with decades of stories. Walls lined with faded police department photos. That's where I sat every night. Same corner booth, nursing my beer. Tank Morrison, former Boston Police Department Organized Crime Unit detective. The young rookie beside me, Kevin Sullivan, was watching the latest robbery report on the news above the bar. Detective Morrison, he said with genuine curiosity, did you really know every thief in the city? I took a slow sip of my beer, the foam still thick on top. Kevin, for 20 years I walked every street in this city. Every burglar, every con man, every criminal, I knew them all. But I didn't just arrest them and forget about them. I talked to them. I listened to their stories. Hell, I even tried to help some of them get their lives together. Kevin looked puzzled. You helped criminals? You gotta understand, kid. Criminals are people too. Most of them just took a wrong turn somewhere along the way. Not all of them are bad to the core. I gave them second chances, and they respected me for it. That's how I knew about every move happening on the streets. Everything changed that cold March night in 2019. I was on night patrol, cruising through Beacon Hill, the fancy neighborhood where Boston's elite lived behind iron gates and pristine lawns. That's when I spotted a red Mercedes flying down Commonwealth Avenue. Way too fast for a school zone. Had to be doing at least 80 in a 25 zone. I hit the sirens and pulled the car over. Out stumbled a drunk kid in his early 20s. Chad Wellington III, Senator Wellington's son. Expensive clothes, bloodshot eyes, reeking of whiskey from 10 feet away. Good evening, I said, keeping my voice calm and professional. Can I see your license and registration? Chad swayed on his feet. Do you know who I am? He slurred. I'm Chad Wellington. My father runs this city. Young man, this is a school zone. You were doing 80 miles per hour. That's extremely dangerous. Chad laughed. A nasty sound. A cop? Who the hell are you? You don't have the right to stop me. I tried to stay patient. Sir, you're driving under the influence. I strongly suggest you wait a few hours before getting back behind the wheel. Chad stepped closer, his whiskey breath hot in my face. You know what, pig? My father's gonna make one phone call and have your ass fired. Who do you think you are stopping me? I'm a senator's son, and I'm a Boston police officer, I replied steadily. Everyone's equal under the law. That's when Chad started screaming. You're nobody, you piece of garbage. My dad's gonna end your career. One phone call. That's all it takes. Up until that moment, I'd kept my cool. But then Chad shoved me hard. Don't put your hands on me, I warned. What are you gonna do? Arrest me? Chad shoved me again, harder this time. That's when my patience finally snapped. 20 years on the force, thousands of arrests, countless nights protecting this city. I wasn't going to let some drunk rich kid call me garbage and push me around. One punch. My right cross connected clean with Chad's jaw. The kid hit the pavement like a sack of cement. The next morning, I was sitting in internal affairs. Chief Rodriguez called me into his office, throwing a file folder across his desk. Tank, do you have any idea what you've done? I did my job, sir. I stopped a drunk driver. You punched a senator's son, Tank. His father's been calling since dawn. He wants your badge. He put his hands on me, Chief, and he disrespected the uniform. Rodriguez shook his head slowly. Tank, you're a good detective. Hell, you're the best I've ever seen. But this has become political. My hands are tied. That day, my 20-year career ended. I turned in my badge and gun. 5 years passed. I worked security jobs, but I still kept in touch with some of my old contacts on the street. They never forgot me. Tank Morrison, the only cop who ever treated them with respect. Until that phone call changed everything. It was 2 a.m. when my phone rang. Rodriguez's name on the caller ID. Tank? His voice was shaky, desperate. Rodriguez, what's going on? Tank, we need you to come back. I actually laughed. You fired me, Rodriguez. Remember? Tank, The city's falling apart. We've had over 300 robberies in the last 3 months. Banks, stores, even the children's hospital got hit. We can't catch a single one of these guys. I stayed quiet. Tank, these aren't your old street contacts. These are organized professionals, and we're completely lost. Not my problem anymore, Rodriguez. Tank, please. They stole cancer medication from the children's hospital. Kids are dying. That hit me like a punch to the gut. The children's hospital. That was sacred ground in Boston. What do you want from me? Come back as a consultant. Unofficial. Just help us catch these guys. The next morning, I walked back into the precinct for the first time in 5 years. I studied the case files carefully. One detail jumped out immediately. "This is Danny the Wire O'Connor's work," I said without hesitation. I pulled out my old contact book. Danny's number was still there. An hour later, we met at a diner. Danny looked older, grayer, but his eyes still had that same sharp intelligence. "Tank, there's a new crew in town. Their leader is Tommy the Brain Kowalski. He tried to get me to teach him my methods. I refused. Where can I find him?" "I know where Tommy's hiding," Danny said. "But don't go alone, Tank." That night, I pulled out my old gear. Tank Morrison was coming back. The warehouse was dark, but I could see Tommy Kowalski inside with 4 other guys, all armed. I slipped in through shadows. The first guy went down easy. The second guy spotted me, went for his gun, but I was faster. Tommy and the other 2 heard the commotion. "Who's there?" Tommy shouted. I stepped out of the shadows, gun drawn. "Boston PD!" Hands in the air. "I'm Tank Morrison, and I'm here to arrest you." The other 2 guys went for their weapons. "But I'm Tank Morrison. I fought on these streets for 20 years. Tommy tried to run, but it was too late. I grabbed his arm and put him face first on the concrete floor. "Tommy Kowalski, you're under arrest." The next morning, the stolen cancer medication was returned to the hospital. "Tank, would you consider coming back permanently?" Rodriguez asked. "I have one condition. I'm not apologizing to Chad Wellington. What I did that night was right." Rodriguez smiled. "Chad Wellington killed someone in a drunk driving accident last year. You were right all along, and that's how I came back." Tank Morrison, the detective who knew every thief in Boston. Kevin stared into his drink. "So what happened after that?" I finished my beer. "The children's hospital is safe, the thieves are in jail, and I'm back walking these streets again. Because sometimes, kid, justice comes late. But it always comes." Walking through the Boston streets that night, my phone buzzed with a text from Danny. "Tank, thanks. You're a real cop." I smiled. Tank Morrison was back, and this time, nobody was going to stop me. Did this story touch you? Have you ever been wronged but later proven right? Share your story in the comments. And if you believe stories about real justice like this deserve to be told, subscribe. At Human Stories, we share powerful stories like this every week. If stories like Tank Morrison's touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe for more incredible tales of hidden heroes. We share one powerful story every single day. Check out our other videos to discover more amazing people who changed everything from the shadows. Your subscription helps us keep these voices alive.